Well, folks, today I'm going to tell you why I like 15-year mortgages over 30. This is Rick Jarman, Real Estate Investing Old School. You know, I'm probably opening up a can of worms because I've talked to some of y'all directly or DM, you know. And everybody says, well, we go 30 years for the cash flow. Well, folks, that's why I tell you, always get a deal. If you find that deal, that helps offset some of that. And like I told you, I don't script anything. Actually, today I'd plan on talking about something else, but earlier today I was thinking, I said, you know, I'd read something made me think about it. I said, I'm gonna touch on that today. So I ran some numbers, and I'm gonna use a $100,000 house at 6% for 15 years. The payment would be $843.86. That same house at $100,000, same rate, 6%. Even though you use on 15, you get a lower rate, but we're gonna say they're the same. 30-year loan is $599.55. So if you subtract the 30-year payment from the 15-year payment, it's a difference of $244.31. Now you say, well, that's $244.31. Folks, you're gonna be paying that $244.31 more by going 30 years for a whole 15 years. Now you take $244.31 times 15 years on a $100,000 house. Do you know how much that is? That's $43,975.80. It's $43,975.80. Now, does anybody ever think about that? They say, oh, I want the cash flow. Is $244 difference gonna make or break your deal? You need to be getting a good deal. Folks, I'm gonna give you a good example. Friday, I had a lady call my office. She's actually rented 2 houses from me, but she's been in this particular house for almost 12 years. She calls me Mr. Rick. She comes and Mr. Rick won't call and tell you that the city of Northport said they're gonna have to bust up my driveway because there's some kind of problem with their pipe under the driveway. That's the kind of tenant. She's a good tenant. I said, that's fine, you know, just let me know if we don't fix it back right and we'll keep a check also. She's been there almost 12 years, folks. Now this particular house is owned by my son and I. It's on a 15-year mortgage. She's the only one that ever lived in it. It was a foreclosure. I bought this house. It was a foreclosure. I don't remember what the numbers were. I think we paid $49,000 for it. Put maybe 10 in it. Now, with that being said, she's almost paid for that house. Folks, she's been there almost 12 years. If she stays another 3 years, that house is paid for. See, you lose sight of who's paying for these houses when you get them. You know, everybody, you know, I'm not one to even break down and analyze and run all this stuff. You know, if it's a deal and the numbers work, buy that sucker. You don't need to overthink it and all, you know. You need to have you a calculator, a financial calculator, when you're out looking at property, that you can run your payments right quick, make a decision while you're there if you want to put in an offer or not. Because I'm telling you, in this market, they're not going to be there long. But what you've got to do, you've got to get pre-qualified, know how much house you can buy so you don't waste your time looking at something you can't afford to buy to rent. Getting back to my house, so she's been there almost 12 years. My son and I have 24 houses together, not counting the houses I have. And we never do anything over 15 years. Now my son's just now 37 years old. And we got a bunch of stuff like that's gonna pay off in a few years. He and I both gonna have a good raise coming when it does. But don't let $244 and some change keep you from doing a 15-year loan. People say, well, I want to quit my job and get in this full time. Well, do that, but flip you a few houses or do something else to help make a little money. But dadgum, don't do no 30-year loan. I know y'all are young right now, and I know I seem passionate about this, folks, and y'all ain't never seen me like this, but I hate to see you make these mistakes, or mistakes I think you make in doing that. Think about it. 15 more years just because for $200-something a month, where in 15 years that baby could be paid for, and then you getting the whole rent. Like that lady rents from me, she pays $775 a month. Now then, after 15 years, that's all our money, other than, overhead costs, whatever. So don't overanalyze, don't overthink it. If the numbers work as far as the rent covering it, and you're making a good cash flow, figure you some vacancy or whatever you want to figure makes you comfortable. But that's what I like about residential houses. They just don't sit empty, folks. You ride around, how many empty houses you see? Now, I know there's places in this country that's different, but I'm talking about your average place where the market's good. How many houses are sitting empty? I remember when I first got into business, and I had 2 or 3 rental houses, and I was still working my job at the university in maintenance. They said, what you gonna do if all 3 of them get empty at the same time? Folks, it never happened. The odds of that happening are slim. Now, it could, but it ain't gonna be long. You get you a little reserve, you good to go. Folks, anyway, look hard at a 15-year loan before you do a 30-year loan. And you gotta remember, that tenant is paying for it for you. Don't get hung up on just the numbers. Think about who's paying for it for you. You out here doing your job or flipping houses or working or whatever you do, and every night when you go to bed and you get up, that tenant's reducing that balance on that thing for you. And you're going to turn around one day and look, 15 years is paid for. And you get you a few of them like that. Trust me, it's good. But just think about it before you go get that 30-year loan. Don't let a couple $100 keep you from to save for, like this deal here, $43,975.80. That's the difference over life of the loan if you go 30-year versus a 15-year loan. It's pretty simple, I think. But anyway, that's just my thought. I'm not going to hammer on that. People got to do what they want to do. I just know what's worked for me. And I ain't going to do no 30-year loans. I'm going to do 15-year mortgages. And ain't nothing nobody going to tell me change me. And anybody wants to get on here and tell me why they do 30, that's fine. I understand it. But I can assure you, you will not change my mind. Because I've been doing it for 30-something years, and I know what works for me. And I can tell you this, my son agreed with me too. 37 years old, he understands how they click on by. Anyway, folks, I'm glad y'all are listening and following me. And I never really said nothing when I hit 1,000 followers, because I didn't hit nothing. Y'all did it for me. But I do thank y'all. I didn't realize it was such a big thing until I started seeing other people talk about it. So, because I'm just here to try to help y'all. But I do appreciate that. If I'm supposed to be excited about that 1,000 people, buddy, I'm excited. Let's go for 2,000 then. Hey, I'm a competitive fella. If that's what we're supposed to be doing, let's go for it. But anyway, and I hope this will be helpful to you. Please think about what I'm telling you. Y'all have a good day.